Hello, everyone, and welcome to the live stream of this Bundesliga watch along. It is going to be RB Leipzig versus Hamburger SV. I'm your host for this evening. My name is Justin Crozer. I am the host of the RBL Talk podcast, the global podcast on RB Leipzig. If you'd like to get involved with the live stream watch along, all you have to do today is comment along wherever you are watching this. We can already see a few people already joining us this evening. We are currently live across YouTube, Twitch, X or Twitter, however you want to call it, Facebook, Instagram, and other places as well. So if you would like to get involved, make sure to comment along down there. This is the homecoming for Yusuf Pausen, a club legend of RB Leipzig, in our short, brief career so far as a club with RB Leipzig. And Cyril, welcome already to the stream. You're watching over there, joining it on excuse me, on YouTube. And just a couple of things to get involved before we go into the thick of things. The player watch today is going to be Romelu versus Visovic or Viksovic. I can't remember how I pronounced his name. But the on loan from Tottenham Hotspur centre back from Hamburger SV has already had a very good, strong start to the season. He's already been linked with Borussia Dortmund and RB Leipzig, and is also being highly rated at Tottenham Hotspur as well. I would like to see a little bit more from Romelu as well. So a few things of admin before we get underway, and we'll just move the camera. So if you'd like to join the RB fans Discord community, fantastic community over there. You've got English and German channels over there. You can talk about the football club and things like that and everything else. So you can make sure to click the link in the show notes or tap the link just down below here. If you like what you hear today, you can join the podcast and you can watch and listen to the podcast as well. You can click the link in the show notes or on your screens now as well to go and listen to the podcast. If you would like to get free RB Leipzig news as well, click the link there down below. And that is a website which is run by me, which is www.rbleipzig.news. I make sure that I update that on a regular basis with all the latest RB Leipzig news in English, so you can find out everything to do with RB Leipzig from there. And lastly, join the free Patreon of the podcast. You get some freebies throughout the year from time to time, including the last episode, which dropped early for Patreon members, of course, but also it was dropped in as a freebie as well, not just for the RBL Talk paid members. So far this evening, it has been quite good. Finally, the international break is over. Really annoyed with the international break, especially when there's not much football. I've done a few things with the choreo at the moment, which is very beautiful, that they've got here from Yusuf Pausen. Very kudos there to the people who made this choreo. I'll make sure that I find the link during the halftime break or through the next podcast as well, and make sure that everyone is able to give the thanks to the RB fans who are local, who had a part of that choreo. So both teams are out onto the pitch and will be underway in just a few moments. If you'd like me to say anything during this podcast as well, make sure that you do comment wherever you are watching this from. Also, drop your predictions below as well. My prediction, I believe, from the podcast, which was a little while ago, since we released that, just over a week now, it was 4-1, I believe, in favour of RB Leipzig. But this isn't just going to be a walk in the park for RBL. It is going to be a tactical battle. And Hamburger SV could surprise us as well. So we're going to be very careful, especially if they do get the jump on us. Make sure that the score is up to date and ready to go. And drop your comments below who you think is going to be the first goal scorer and what the final score will be. A little disappointing to see Yusuf Poulsen actually starting on the bench. I would have liked to have seen him on the field, but he's very happy with that choreo. So, as I used to call Yusuf Poulsen, Mr. Red Bull, or Mr. RBL, technically. Lining up as a 4-3-3, which is quite normal these days under Ole Werner. Have enjoyed some of the fluidity with the play that we've played. Also, along the right-hand side a lot more instead of just predominantly on the left. Is under Marco Rosa and ex-players, we were a little bit too predominant on the left-hand side. So, and we've already just gone straight to that right-hand side. So hopefully we're not going into old tricks and starting to, what's the word I'm looking for there? It's going to be too predictable over on that left-hand side. And Cyril thinks it's a 3-0 win for the home side for RB Leipzig, for us RB fans. So that wouldn't be a bad performance by any means. Where is that? My apologies there. Just put that screen back up. And again, my only issue with the lineup is Peter Galacci in goal. Fantastic goalkeeper. But we've really got to give either Martin van der Voort the chance to settle in and become the number one goalkeeper, or we're going to have to maybe look at loaning him out and possibly getting in a replacement, as it's not something that you really want to be seeing often. Is that Peter Galacci is still a fantastic, world-class top goalkeeper at the age, I believe, 34 or 35. And, you know, he doesn't have many seasons left and he's still a fantastic keeper. It is a good problem to have from a Red Bull or an RBL perspective. And a good cut-off there from that looked to be David Raum. Little bit at the moment, the transition is not very good. We were still winning the ball in a high up the pitch area, an advanced position for David Raum on the left-hand side with a throw-in. And if I remember correctly, I think we've never lost against a team that has been newly promoted. So every team that has been promoted from the previous season, RB Leipzig has beaten them. So there's a couple of things that I would like to change. And against, it's a beautiful through ball there for David Raum, and it's easily cut off there. As I was saying, I would like to see a little bit more rotation of some of the younger players coming in. It's great to see Osan or Drago getting his chance to start, as well as he's really impressed me actually from being one of those number sixes in the double pivot. Being a true box-to-box, he's able to not only win the ball back, he's actually quite threatening when he gets the chances in the box. But I think you'll see us play as a flat 4-3-3 for most of the game here. And then in transition, we'll move still into a 4-3-3, but probably more closer as a 4-2-3-1 with a number 10 behind Romelu, which will most likely be Baumgartner. And you'll have Nicholas Seiwald and Ordrago in those double pivot roles with both the wingers on the left and right playing as sort of like wide midfielders of Nusa on the left, and I do believe it's Bakayoko that started on the right as well. If you'd like to get involved with the live stream watch along, make sure that you do comment along wherever you are watching this. We're currently live over on X, over on YouTube, over on Twitch, over on Instagram, over on Facebook. We are everywhere this evening. And if you would like to get involved and tell me your thoughts on the game as well as we go through the fixture, make sure that you put it in. Just like Cyril has done again with, that's exactly what I wanted to talk about, rotation. Well, the thing here for rotations for me, and this is a good topic to start with, is, sorry about that, Cyril, we'll have to put that straight back on there, turn that to off, is that there's a couple of positions that I would like to have as full rotations. So coming off an international break, and a lot of players played well. There was a bit of a dilemma on the left wing side. We had Yan Diamonde and Antonio Nusa. Both played fantastic for their international sides of Ivory Coast and Norway, respectively, as we are currently having a free kick in a dangerous position here, just coming up to the into the 5th minute, as David Raum and Rydor Baku are holding the over the dead ball, and we'll get back to rotations in just a sec after this free kick is taken. I would like to see a shot here from Baku with the right foot. It is David Raum. Tried it, but just missing to the side of netting. That's the reason why I said for the right foot there, is because the angle is a lot better for the right footer to curl and go the over the wall there than it is for a left footer. David Raum has to really whip and get his foot around it to even attempt that. And anyway, back onto the topic of rotations. So there was a couple of rotations that I would have liked to have seen. Yan Diamonde for me would have gotten the start over Antonio Nusa for a couple of reasons. Number one, this is no disrespect to Hamburger SV, but they are a newly promoted team. We shouldn't have to field a team at the moment which is a bit more wary and cautious. Ole Werner has fielded the best possible team. So this would be like, if we're playing against Dortmund like we did the week before, or against Bayern Munich, we field the absolute best team possible, and Nusa is that best team, is in that best team possible. But I would like to have seen a little bit more pace, and also protect Nusa a tad, because he is still coming back from a forearm injury. Not only that, I would also like to give some more opportunities, as well, as people are well aware of my stance with Peter Galacci and Martin van der Voort, the goalkeeper situation at RB Leipzig. Not a big fan of it. Would not be against if Martin van der Voort wanted to move somewhere else and things like that. For the simple fact is, he's still getting picked for the under-21 Belgium team or for the full Belgium team. I can't remember which one it was. And he doesn't play any games. So that already shows just the level of quality that we have there, but he hasn't been given the chance to field. Third position is the centre-back role. As much as I love Willy Orban, you look at him and Castel Likeba, who's going to be there long-term. And I would say Castel Likeba would be there more longer than Willy Orban, only for the fact of longevity of their careers. But if I was going to say for who's going to stay there in the foreseeable future, it would be Willy Orban would most likely stay at the club and finish out his career at RB Leipzig. Then Castel Likeba, who's just received the ball now, just in the middle of the park on the left-hand side for RB Leipzig, as he wants to go play for a team like Real Madrid or a big team as well. As he's made a pass which is just a bit too heavy for David Raum, and it's going to go out for a throw-in just close to the corner flag on the left-hand side for HSV. So that would be my three positions that I would change, and it would the centre-back rotation would be for Chedol Bishebu, another French international who's fantastic young footballer. He's great, fantastic skill, still developing, but he would also be my other pick to change. Another one is also the fullback position. So I do apologize. There is actually another one, and it was actually David Raum's position with Fingrafe. I would have actually liked to have seen him get more starts. I know Fingrafe is just recently coming back from an injury. It's not going to happen, but there's still no knock for me on the captaincy of David Raum. That being said, I was a little bit gutted that my favourite player, Willy Orban, didn't retain the captaincy. It was no issue with him at all. I understand that the club wanted to go into a different direction. For me, it just seemed like Ollie Werner wanted to have his stance and pick a new captain, which he has every right to do so. It seems to be working so far. But for me, the whole reason for bringing in Fingrafe was to protect Raum and give him rotation so he's not so much of a heavy workload. And now with the captaincy, he's basically an automatic starter. So it really nerfs that, again, that selection. So I'd really love to see more of Fingrafe, but maybe if he tries to reinvent himself as a be able to play back on both fullback positions. Maybe I'm not sure because I really don't see David Raum being rested because the backup captain again is Xavier Schlager, who tend to be injury prone, but it almost seems that the captaincy was given to these two players because they were coming to the end of their contracts and going to be leaving. So um, yeah, that's probably just something to monitor for the end of the season and things like that. And that's not me being filthy that the Orban lost the captaincy either. That's something that I saw us do under Marco Rosa when we gave Xavi Simmons the captaincy for that one game, which was absolutely horrible. Not only just decision, he played horribly in that game. So his personality is not a leader on the pitch. At least with David Raum, he is a leader on the pitch. And speaking of David Raum, he'll get the ball back in a second from Nusa. No, he takes the shot, and it's straight for a reset of play, I should say, for HSV coming into the 12th minute now. Go back to some more comments as well. Hello, Emmanuel. Hola from Mexico. Welcome to the stream. Hopefully, you enjoyed the football this evening of RB Leipzig and also the live stream as well. And Cyril has a comment back as well. It's also difficult for rotations when we play only a game a week, so we end up playing players in form or performing well in training. Yeah, absolutely, Cyril. So I do understand as well that when it comes to training, you'll play the team the players that are, impressing you in training and things like that. And with us also being out of all competitions bar the DFB Pokal, then you can field your best team. There's no knock on that. I just think that we should also be giving a lot of new signings actually minutes, and two also trying things that are different instead of always being like an unchanged team, so to speak. And against teams like HSV, and again, that's no knock to Hamburger SV. This could be a close game, or it could also be a danger game for us if we're not careful, as mentioned on the podcast previously. But against the lower teams in the Bundesliga, that's when you sort of really want to start flirting with new ideas and maybe slight different formation or personnel or game style and things like that. I guess that's the way I look at things personally myself. I like to, I love my set formations and I love rotating players. Every player does a job and has a job to do, and as long as you do that job within the system that has been given, then the team itself will play and be fine. And that's actually something that we've now adopted again due to the fact of under Marco Rosa, we had a lot of fantastic individual players, but they couldn't really play together as a team. So it was more of a they can play together, just not with each other. So the old saying of that one, if no one's ever heard of that before. So far coming into the game though, talking about what we're currently watching, I'm not too fussed about the KG opening so far. We have had a couple of counters. They've looked good. HSV, they're looking well themselves. They're just going to try to pretty much have a low block, try to force us and squeeze us and not give us enough space. and they've got a little bit of pace on them as well, so they can certainly cause us issues on the counter. Although I don't think we're going to have too much of an issue. So, but there we go. I was about to say we need to see some more forward passing instead of just side to side movement. That's probably the biggest knock that I always have with football when I watch it, not just our team as well, is that there's a lot of side ball movement, which is fine, but you don't have any progression. You're not passing forward. So currently now with Orban and Lekeba, they're passing between each other. So for me, you would be going forward, and you can still do those lateral passes, but you're also doing them slightly forward. So as we now have a fast break here with Nicholas Seiwald having to get busy there, who's really impressed actually this season. I actually thought that he would do well as a. It reminds me of, this is going back to show some RB Leipzig people won't realize what type of what am I about to say? The type of player, depending on their age. I mean, I'm showing them my age now, technically too. But Nicholas Seiwald reminds me of how I believe it was Alessandro Del Piero. No, sorry, not Del Piero. Alessandro Pirlo. He used to sit back as a a ball-winning midfielder and have a lot of either starting the play or a lot of long passes to set his teammate up. That's where Nicholas Seiwald is doing something similar for us. I would like to see him convert more of his play to not just winning the ball back and starting the chain of the play, but actually getting some assists or a score here or there. If he can add that to his game, I think Nicholas Seiwald goes up that extra level. But he's definitely no comparison to Andrea Pirlo, that's for sure. So just using that as an analogy of basically of the player, of how their roles are in their teams. Obviously, for those that are a bit younger than myself, it was Andrea Pirlo was a Juve and AC Milan, I do believe, and he played for a few other teams as well. Italian footballer. He was a fantastic player in his generation. And as Cyril also mentions, yeah, last season we really relied on individual moments, especially from Xavi. And there is a new yellow card in the fixture, and it's going to Hamburger SV, and it looks like it's Capaldo, number 24. So, and a clear foul there on Antonio Nusa. Just a step over and a slight shift of the ball, and if you don't get the ball and you get the player, clear yellow card. And after 18 minutes of play, then definitely going to get yourself a booking there. Hopefully we can pass the ball a little bit more forward, even if we do pass laterally, because I would rather do that and then concede ground passing sideways. So there we go. Orban's pass just then to Lekeba was perfect example. So he was actually passing forward instead of passing back to where Lekeba was. Actually made him go forward to receive the ball. I would also like to do a pass in the center instead of just going down the left-hand side. It does look like Hamburg have a very good block there, though. For those that are wondering, the reason why I'm not having any Red Bull or anything on this live stream as well is usually I do, just for the heck of it, so to speak. I'm not a big fan of energy drinks myself, but I'm more of a coffee drinker. But I'm doing a fast now, so I eat for 6 hours a day, and I fast for the other 18 hours a day. So unfortunately, this is my fasting time, so no sugar or anything like that. Just black coffee and water is allowed, or green tea as well if you like that as well. As it looks like that Noose is feeling a little bit sore. He's had a couple of hard challenges. Hopefully, nothing too major there. Just a little bit sore. Excuse me. If we can plonk it straight on the head of Willie Orban here, this would be a fantastic free kick and assist for David Raum. Let's have a look. Even on Romulu's head. And it was straight to Romulu, but it's gone down and then out for a goal kick. Almost able to see the play myself before they happened today, by the looks of things. A little bit of a cagey opening so far in this 21 minutes. It's slowly starting to open up. I would actually like to see RB Leipzig take the game a little bit more harder and to Hamburger SV, as they're coming forward quite nicely here with a fast break. They just need to cut inside, and RB Leipzig have blocked all the passing lanes, which is good to see. Nice pressing. Nice shape. And the cross there was also very good, but it was a great interception from RB Leipzig. Sorry, just excuse me a moment while I clean my eyes for a sec there. Hamburger SV have a good chance here, actually, so they just need to switch play to the far left of screen, or to their left, so the top of screens or to the left. They do end up trying to go that way, but they ruined it with slow ground passing. They should have just switched the play aerially and quickly. Wouldn't completely knock a goal here from Hamburger SV, which looks like it's coming. And Nicholas Seiwald easily stops a cross coming in there, and it's gone for a corner, and it'll be down on the right-hand side for HSV, and it will be a corner and set piece for RB Leipzig to defend. This is somewhere where we were quite terrible last season. We were the worst team at crossing, and we were very, very poor at defending our set pieces. So interesting to see how well we've come a long way. We're protecting the near post, which is good. Back post is going to be a problem, but it's easily dealt with, and that was cleared by Odrago. Comes in a second time. I think that was Willie Orban with a clearing header, and it ends up going out for a goal kick. As I was saying, I would like to see a goal here from Hamburger SV, just to spice things up a little bit at the moment, as this game does need a goal at the moment. It's not insanely boring or anything like that, but it is getting, as we've given away the ball in a dangerous area. As I was saying, we could do with a goal in this game, just to have the teams be a bit more attacking and a bit more fluid in creating their chances, because Hamburger SV are quite happy to play this game currently, and if they end up scoring late and they do a 1-0 win or a 1-1, they'll take that. And for listeners and viewers as well, we have to remember that Hamburger SV had recently beaten, I think it was Mainz, as well, and they're playing European football, so it's they're certainly not going to be the walk in the park that some RB fans were thinking of as well. And I originally thought, myself, was going to be just a 2-1 win or something like that, but I decided to change it at the last moment in the podcast. And when I wrote up the podcast script, it was going to be a 4-1 win because I thought quality would prevail. Eventually, there would be some kinks in the Hamburger SV armor, so to speak. And even Cyril is saying it is a little boring at the moment as well. If anyone wants to comment along of any issues or anything like that, and looks like we might have something here. Just a moment. As Cyril mentions that it is boring, Christoph Baumgartner almost scores a goal. There's a nice bit of interplay there from Odrago, or I should say Odrago, and then Baumgartner had 2 bites at the cherry, and he couldn't get the second attempt as it was parried away from the Hamburger SV goalkeeper. But yep, it is boring, Cyril, at the moment, and if anyone wants to get involved with the stream, make sure you comment along and let me know, and tell me what you would like to see in this game. What's the local time in Australia right now? Cyril, it is 12:25 a.m. My local time in Central Australia, so South Australia. A bit of a late one for the moment at us. We've got daylight savings, and it looks like RB Leipzig's trying to push. They just need to press more. Yep, there we go. Win the ball back, and now just find a good final pass. And very lobbed ball. I would actually take a reset here. But yes, no, so it's 12:26 a.m. now, Australian Central Daylight Savings Time. Normally games start at 11 o'clock before the Daylight Savings Time, so it's just an hour later. Australia is a really weird country. Our East Coast has 2 different time zones, so you'd think that on the East Coast they're half an hour in front. So in Melbourne or Sydney, it'd be 12:56 p.m. But then you've got Brisbane, like in Queensland, also on the East Coast, on the east top coast, in the top right-hand corner of the country on the map. They're half an hour behind us in Central Australia. So how's that work? So they're actually 11:57 p.m. or yesterday, funny enough. So, but yep, we're a weird country, but I never understood the a few things, but even though I was born here. But yes, the daylight savings time is the one I really still don't get to this day, even after 30 odd years. So, and David Raum gives away a free kick. And yep, as Cyril says, that was the best chance so far. So, need to make sure that we take our chances. I mean, if anyone's going to do it, it's probably going to be Baumgartner. He's been on form lately at club level. And since Xavi's, I was going to say sold, but Xavi's departure to Tottenham Hotspur in the Premier League, he's actually stepped into that sort of creative role, but he's added the ability to be a poacher. For us anyway, so he's always been able to be played as like a striker or a second striker. We just never utilized that ability for Baumgartner, so he does know his way in and around the box. So I do think we need to press a lot harder coming into the 29th minute here. So, and I would love to see Hamburg SV score a goal here as well, for the simple fact that it's kick RB Leipzig into gear, as they're really just trotting along, as we have the ball going forward here with a fantastic run with Drago. Great balance, great shielding, and he did attempt a shot there, or a pass, and it looks like it's gone out for a corner kick. would like to see a few things. Yep, it was just a cross into the shins of the Hamburg SV defender. I'd like to see us play this short and wide. Just a moment. Apologies for that. It's gone very central and really didn't do anything. But we do retain the ball at the moment. Sorry, just a second, guys. Or sorry to say, ladies and gentlemen, and everybody else. Don't know where that went. Okay. Sorry about that. There was just something here on the desk that I was just trying to deal with, but it does seem to the Australian what's the word? The Australian we'll go with wildlife. Wanted to say hello. You get more of that normally in the outback, as they say, or in the country areas, but when we do have a bit of heat, as we've had lately, they do like to try to come inside. So it's always best to try to, depending on what they are, to try to keep them and get them outside, get them back inside, I should say. Get them back outside, I should say. My apologies. If you'd like to get involved with the podcast stream, make sure that you comment along across your platforms. We're currently live over on X, YouTube, Twitch, Facebook, Instagram, and others as well. I do apologize, though, for listeners and viewers over on Instagram and X, unable to highlight comments. So just jump over to YouTube or Twitch or Facebook to highlight the comments. Here we go. That's a fantastic challenge there from Rydell Bakker. Thought that for all money that was going to beat Peter Galacci, just going to be too hard and low. But he just kept running, and a great sliding challenge. Let's have a look at this cross happening here from a corner kick. Comes in from the right, goes middle of the box, and Peter Galacci looks like he got a touch to it, or it's been headed wide and far. So it looks like it's more of a header that's been wide and far, crowding the keeper. Not a bad tactic. While we're on the subject, but considering that we're there, what do you think? Should goalkeepers have a set area where players can't stand in front of them or defend them or anything like that? Or do you think that the art of a goalkeeper needs to find their own way through to be able to get to the ball? Because I'm a big believer that, there should be at least like I guess a meter or something, like just an arm's length at least, so the goalkeeper can move even if it's just very small circle. You can't just stand on the goalkeeper and blocking them from attempting to make a save or get to the ball. And no free kick there for RB Leipzig as Nusa falls over. It's a bit of a push in the back. I think Noosa goes to ground a little bit too easily there. Gonna have a quick look at some of the statistics here while we are waiting for the play to get a little bit more interesting and a little entertaining, as Hamburg SV have actually had more possession than RB Leipzig, 52% to 48. They haven't had as many shots, though, as Hamburg have only had the one shot, as RB Leipzig have had 6 total shots at the moment. There has been one challenge that has had a yellow card. That was in the 18th minute for Nicholas Capaldo. Hamburg are lining up in a 3-4-3, which is a good counter tactic for a 4-3-3, as you're overloading the midfield when their team doesn't have a big depth in midfield. You can almost go to a 3-5-2 as well, depending on how you line up your 3-4-3. It does look like almost that maybe Hamburg are going to be the team that score. It does appear that RB Leipzig definitely getting closer and closer as the game progresses, but they've been having many total shots, but they haven't really been as accurate. I'd like to take you back to the Wolfsburg game, where they outplayed us and they had so many chances, but they just weren't clinical. That's pretty much what we're getting here at the moment. It does appear that Hamburg are going to be the more clinical team here, and we'll have RB Leipzig are going to have the more total shots, but less likely going to score. As Yusuf Poulsen goes around the pitch and clapping around to all the RB Leipzig fans in attendance today. Just need to make this cross here towards the back post to David Raum. There we go. There we go. Nicholas Seibold winning the ball back. We just need to retain possession instead of losing the possession. And Hamburg SV just lacked that quality to be able to change the play here. So, and we do have a player down on the ground, and it is Romelu. He's on the floor a little bit sore. And there's also a Hamburger SV player down on the floor as well, although I think that player is just a little bit of a cramp. And it just looks like it's a clash of heads here. So there'll just be a couple of mandatory concussion checks and things like that. And while we have a break in the play, as it is coming into the 38th minute, we will go to some comments. And Cyril says goalkeepers should definitely have their space. Arsenal would disagree. Yes. So that was going back to a few moments ago when we asked, or I said about goalkeepers having a bit of space there. I think they should have at least had a little bit of space, about a meter, just around in a circle in the radius, just so they've got some free movement. And then obviously if they can't get to the ball, so be it. But it just prevents them from being blocked straight away. So they're able to make a save. And then Cyril even says this might end 1-0. Yeah, and I'm actually going to say at the moment 1-0 for Hamburger SV, because we are playing pretty poorly at the moment. getting enough chances, just not enough chances, just not getting what's the word I'm looking for? We're not getting not being clinical with our chances. So we're getting enough chances, but we're not making the most out of the chances that we're getting, and we're also not giving ourselves the best chances possible. So if we looked at the XG at the moment, it would be quite low for the potential XG at the moment. So at the moment, the expected XG goals is 0.41 for RB Leipzig and 0.21 for Hamburger SV. So both still very low. As we're coming into the 40th minute, as Hamburger SV commit another foul on Drago. As that's probably one way that we're nice nutmeg there. We will end up winning free kicks a lot because our players are a lot more classy and skillful, especially with the first time touches and ball movement. If this was me, I'd be taking the free kick with David Raum in about middle centre. It goes to Baku though. Almost though. Romelu couldn't get to the ball by the looks of things. Great delivery by Raido Baku. And yeah, he's gone for the header and he's just completely missed it. So do want to see a bit more from Romelu, especially as the striker. He needs to start putting the goals on the board. Do like his hold up play and what he does in the formation, but you also got to produce instead of just being a support player. You also need to start scoring goals. That's ultimately at the end of the day, you're a striker. You need to score those goals and also give a lot more dimension to our open play goals as well, considering a lot of them are scored either by midfielders, really, like by wingers or either by wingers or by central midfielders. So that is one thing that was good under Marco Rosa, is that a lot of our goals did come from strikers, so or at least the attacking players. Just need to see a little bit more output from the strikers. As Antonio Nusa, is lovely footwork there to retain possession. We're coming into the 42nd minute, and we'll probably have around about 3 minutes of added time because of the break in play that we've had earlier, just for a couple of injuries, as Ollie Werner is being very vocalized on the sidelines. I will be staying with you for this evening during the halftime break. I don't need to do anything or anything like that at the moment, so we will be here I'll take questions from anyone that is watching the stream on if you would like my thoughts so far on how we are, or if you'd like to mention certain things, or if you would like to go off topic or anything like that as well. A halftime break is certainly the time to do so. Also, there's a free yellow card here to Christoph Baumgartner, and Bauming gets, I think that's probably his third yellow card actually for the season. Second yellow card. There you go. As I was saying, I was going to say that the episode 100 people that have won it, only one person actually accepted their prize, funny enough. So I do actually have a random gift to give of 2 months and 1 month. Those people have forfeited it, so I'm just going to send it to some people in the RB Fans Discord group. Sorry, not RB Fans Discord group, sorry, the RB Patrons group. So if you'd like to go to the RBL Talk Patreon, if you're not already a member there for free. Go over there and sign up, and I'll pick a couple of winners by midweek next week. I'll pick it before the podcast episode drops for paid members. That way, you're able to take full advantage already of your 1 or 2 months for free. And you don't have to accept it either if you aren't interested. It's just I may as well give it away because I've got the codes generated. So if you redeem it, you redeem it. If you don't, that's okay. No harm done. And also, you're not obligated to stick with it because after the free trial period, there will be obviously you'd have to pay to go further for that. So you're also not required to do so. You can quite simply just cancel it, and that's a fantastic play. And it is Christoph Baumgartner. There's a fantastic cross. Just going to make sure the offside isn't going to be an issue here, because I didn't get to see that start of the ball. Just having a quick look here. And nope, they're all onside. That's brilliant. Right on the head. Fantastic ball from Antonio Nusa. Well-weighted cross straight onto Baumgartner's head. And there you go. That's the opener that we needed in this game to break the deadlock and just to make things interesting. And we have 1 minute of added time, and we're only going to have about 30 seconds left after the kickoff. I think Christoph Baumgartner is our top goal scorer, to be honest. And no, not half time yet. I thought that might have been a half time whistle. It will be very shortly, though. It's going to destroy that one. Nope, it's going to go out for a corner kick. Nope, it didn't touch it. That's good. So it is going to be a goal kick instead. Goalkeeper there really should have done better. I mean, there's not much you can do at that range with that type of ball and that type of cross, but you've really got to just attempt to save instead of being rooted to the spot. So, but that will do it. It is now half time with the scores 1-0 as Hamburger SV now trail thanks to that Christoph Baumgartner header. There will be a few moments where we can talk about whatever you like, listeners and viewers. If you're just joining in, my name is Justin Crozer. I am the host of the RBL Talk podcast, the global podcast on RB Leipzig, your number one destination to get everything up to date on RB Leipzig as an international fan or as a home fan as well. I make sure that all the stuff is accessible, and I give all listeners a voice on the show. Quite literally, if you would like to send in a voice message to the show via SpeakPipe, or if you would just like to send in your comments, how you feel on the game or anything like that, as long as it's about RB Leipzig. And just like Cyril has done countless times this evening, he's stated, and Baumi that hit that so well, we just needed that one moment from Nusa. What a ball. Just having a quick look here at all the people over on the live streams. The one thing I didn't like about the new software for this season, which I'm using the old software that I used to do my audio and video recordings for some of the early guest videos, but it's not as polished this season. It doesn't look as good, and we don't have the live ticker anymore up on the top there. So just having a look at how many people are watching, and we currently have over 300 people across all platforms, which is quite good. As we can now talk about the half-time break. First things first, we'll have a look at the player watch segment for this game, which was Luka Vasovic and also Romelu for RB Leipzig. So Romelu has played the full 46 minutes. We'll go 46 considering we had 1 minute at a time. And he hasn't done a whole lot. He's had that one total shot. He's had 4 of 9 accurate passes with a passing success rate of 44%. His expected goals XG is only 0.08 from your striker. That's very poor. His expected assists is 0.01, something as well very low. And defensive contributions is 1. His only shot has not been on target, and it's only been 12 touches of the ball, only 2 in the box, 1 pass into the final third, and has been dispossessed once. He has had a recovery, and he's won most of his aerial duels, 3 of 4, at 75%, which is what you want to see and what you expect from someone of Romelu's profile, and has only won 1 of 3 ground duels. Looking at the opposition side of Hamburger SV, Luka Vaskovic, the 18-year-old Croatian centre-back on loan from Tottenham Hotspur. He has played the full 46 minutes as well. He's had 45 touches of the ball. He's had 1 of 2 accurate long passes at 50%, 1 pass in the final third, only been dispossessed once. He's had 37 of 39 accurate passes at 95 success rate, or I should say completion rate. He's had 5 defensive contributions, which for your star centre-back, that's what you expect. 2 challenges, 3 clearances by header, which was all of them. 1 recovery. He's won 2 of 3 ground duels at 67%. He's a real boss in the back there, and he's won 1 of 2 aerial duels at 50%. Probably just needs to be a little bit better in the air there. Otherwise, he's tracking along quite nicely from a Hamburger SV perspective. So far, who is winning the duel? You would have to edge it to Luka Vasovic over for Hamburger SV. They are directly lined up to one another as well in this game at times. So you would have to say specifically in that perspective, the Croatian just edges it over our classy Brazilian. But we now have a half-time break around about 10 minutes or so. So we can basically talk about whatever you like, everyone who is listening or watching this along. If someone would have told me what the score was going to be 1-0 at half-time, I probably would have said that you're joking. I don't actually expect that to be the half-time score, but it is. And it's probably a good thing. It just keeps the game a little bit more open and more entertaining for the second half. It does appear that RB Leipzig will win this one, but hopefully not in a boring fashion like we have so far. We haven't played that great. Apparently there's some reacts we have on the live screen. I'm going to do thumbs up and things like that. What do you know? I don't know why you would do such a thing, but oh well. Anyway, It's one thing I haven't done while we do wait for the football to resume, as both managers are rallying their troops, so to speak. I need to do the RBL talk segment post for the end of this game. So, for those that are unaware, how the RBL Talk segment works for the podcast is across social media, even on Spotify comments as well. If you listen to the show on Spotify, you can comment on the last episode on Spotify or on any of the posts on social media. You will see a post that says send in your questions or comments for the RBL Talk segment. And it will be for episode number, I do believe, 102 now we're up to as well. Just having a look, because it's been a hot minute since I've done one of those posts, and it is exactly 102, and that episode will be out next week around about Wednesday, Thursday, depending on your time zone. And it will be there as well. So if you would like to be featured, make sure that you do comment on the social media posts what you thought of the game so far, even on the live stream as well. And let me know your thoughts. If you like the live stream, if you think that I could do better, or if you would like to see some things happening in the live stream. And Cyril, if you're still watching, I do remember about that thing that you DM'd me about. Haven't implemented it yet. Is interesting. I do want to try to implement it, so we will be in touch about that as well. Still going to go with my prediction of a 4-1. I do think that the second half could possibly be a goal fest. And it will be quite interesting to find out if it's going to be straight away or if it's just going to happen momentarily and just go through and slowly build up to a few goals. Having a look at the players here on the pitch, we have some ratings as well. Just do apologize while I bring that up. And where we have it. Nothing like having pop-ups on your screen. So having a look here, there's a few players that I think could do better for both sides. So we'll start with the RB Leipzig side, as we are an RB Leipzig watch-along and podcast. I do think Johan Bakayoko could do a lot better for RB Leipzig. He's mainly been predominantly down on the right-hand side. He hasn't really done a whole lot with the ball. Would like to see him get his hands on the ball, not literally, of course, but get on the ball a little bit more. He's only had the 17 touches. He's made one key pass. He's lost possession 3 times. His passes in the opposition half has been 10 of 13, which is good to see. But it doesn't seem like his passes have been as... what's the word I'm looking for? Hasn't been as cutthroat and hasn't been as able to get through the defense to really cause any issues. Plus, I haven't really seen him take on a lot of the fullback opposition fullback. Excuse me. So you do want to see that as well. Over on the HSV side, who I'd like to see actually do it a little bit more better is their striker himself, Ransford Klongsdorfer. I can't see that. It's the writing is very small here on the screen that I'm looking at, but he's been all over the place. So, and by that I mean he's covered a lot of ground. Even though he's just a striker, he's been centrally, he's been wide out left and also out on the right hand side as well. He's had 2 total shots. One shot was blocked. He missed one big chance. He was offside once as well. He's had 16 touches. If you lined him up directly with Romelu from an RB Leipzig perspective, he's definitely outplayed Romelu as well. So for a HSV perspective, I'd just like to see him focus on getting into good positions and then making Peter Galacci work. So if he's going to end up scoring, or he's most likely going to be the one that scores for Hamburger SV if they do get on the ball, on the board I should say, then I would like to see him do a little bit better. Other than that as well, I think from an RB Leipzig perspective, you can't ask much more from some of the creative players like Ordrago. Nicholas Seibold has been quite good. He's been rock solid. Let me know who you think the best player for both sides are, especially from an RB Leipzig perspective, wherever you are watching this as well. And I would like to see David Raum and Rydal Baku just be a little bit more direct with their passing and not so wayward. Other than that, we've done pretty all right. Besides the quality of the chances creation, really. So just focus on getting the ball in better positions. I think we'd do all right. As welcome Cabilo to the stream. They think it's just going to be 1-0 only. So that's the score at the moment, and it could be a very boring second half if Capello, my apologies, is correct at all. So we've only got a couple more minutes until the game restarts, as RB Leipzig will be looking to welcome back club legend Yusuf Poulsen in the second half, as he's currently out on the pitch just doing a little bit of a warm-up. He's now wearing the number 15 jersey at Hamburg SV. Still doesn't look right to me, having a look at Yusuf Poulsen in a different jersey. You'd think he never was going to wear a different jersey, but he has made the switch, of course. But still seems very foreign to me, seeing him in a different jersey. Whoops, sorry about that. If I've just knocked the microphone in and made a noise there for everyone. Players just going through their warm-ups now. It'll be around about 2 more minutes or so until we are back underway at the Red Bull Arena. I am your host for this evening's watch along, Justin Crozer, and I'm from Adelaide, Australia. If those are just tuning in are unaware, I'm also the host of the RBL Talk podcast, the global podcast for RB Leipzig fans, whether you are in Leipzig or kilometers away in another country. I give you I would say, unbiased review every week of RB Leipzig. Obviously, there's a little bit of bias there towards RB Leipzig, but I'm also not afraid of being critical when we are needing to be critical, and also give a voice to every single viewer and listener of the show as well with the RBL Talk segment. You can get involved with the show weekly as well if you like. All you have to do is comment along on the social media post with says the RBL Talk segment. I'll read out your comment, or you can send it in as an audio message and I'll play it on the show, and then I will respond to you. As we are now back underway in the second half, back in the Red Bull Arena. And hello to RB Fox. Welcome to the stream there, RB Fox. Playing what I call chaos ball, where we just head the ball around and ping pong ball, so to speak. Chaos ball doesn't really do much except move players out of position. Good to see Romelu pressing the keeper. Sorry everyone for yawning. It is my apologies. Quite early for me. Normally I'm actually asleep at this time with my current schedule, so changing a few things. I'm up quite early in the mornings now, and I'm sleeping quite early as well, so with a 6-hour break, 6 hours sleep, I should say. Normally be in bed normally be in bed a couple of hours ago, so but this stream was always going to be happening. And we have a foul here for reset and break of play. That should be a yellow card, just picking up the ball and walking away with it, but while we wait for the play to restart, let's have a look at some of the comments. And we have Ballum joining the stream. Welcome back to the stream, Ballum. Guten Tag as well. You need a Red Bull? I'm yawning. Yes. So what you've missed is that I'm actually on a fast. I fast 18 hours a day and eat for 6 hours a day. So it's now in the fasting hours, so no Red Bull for me. And there you go, Hamburg have scored. And you just knew it was going to happen. And there we go. Let's just put that up there and we'll get back to the comments very shortly. Sorry about that, Ballum, to cut you off there. There was a lovely through ball in there from Hamburger SV, shielded the ball well, and the cut back, and then it was a deflection. It looked like Nicholas Seiwald. And look, you take it no matter how you get it. But Peter Galacci just really stood there, didn't really do much. I guess you could possibly say his weight was shifted towards the other side, but you probably want to try to do something about that. But there's not much else you can do when it does take a deflection of some quite deflection there. So back to some of your comments. You are winning. Fiago is crying. Maybe Ballum just jinxed it. as he just momentarily said that before the stream went off. Also says your mate Ange Postecoglou was fired this afternoon here in Europe, in England. I didn't know that one. Yeah, it's not great. And Bellum does say timing of the comment. Sorry, I jinxed it. That's okay. Makes for an entertaining game as well. But yeah, I didn't know that Postecoglou got sacked. I do think that Nottingham Forest are very poorly managed by their Greek owner. Here we go, Romelu. No, Baumgartner. There you go. That's 2-1. That's what you want to see. It's a great transition. Might see a hat-trick here from Christoph Baumgartner. So it looks like the podcast pick 4-1 might be on the cards. Just a couple more. But there was some great interplay there between Romelu and Baumgartner. And I did say originally that Romelu needed to do something a bit more, and Romelu has now delivered. You do want to see your striker obviously scoring goals, but if you assist as well, it's not a bad way to help contribute as well. Not just in your formation and holding up the ball and playing all that. Hopefully that kicks everyone into gear and it gets a bit more exciting, I guess you could say, in the second half. Let me know down in the comment section below what you think so far of the game. I'll get to your comments very shortly. We'll just wait for those trickle in. As 52 minutes into this game, it's now 2-1 for RB Leipzig, who are now going again forward on a fast break, but have just destroyed the play here. So they have to concede a bit. And you can hear the crowd really getting loud here with the chants, which I've made for my live streams, I've purposely made isolated the commentary so I can't hear it. I can only hear the crowd atmosphere, so makes me feel like that I'm the only one that's talking to you all instead of me listening to the English commentary and then commentating on top of that. That'd be quite an interesting way of doing a live stream. But it certainly has been more entertaining in the past 12 minutes, I guess you could say, than majority of the first half, with still a bulk load of the second half to go. Having a look here at some comments. Ballum says, Peter is old, should be moved on low-key or be back up. Martin Young goalkeeper, this should have been his season in a way, maybe next season. I did say a bit earlier in the stream, Ballum, that Martin van der Voort would have had a positional change and in 3 or 4 positions, and goalkeeper was one of them. And I wouldn't be surprised if he left because he does deserve to start. He still plays for Belgium, so and it is vital for Red Bull to win this. Bayern could draw in the evening match if Dortmund show up. Yep, he's the Klassiker. Even Cyril agrees that Peter Galacci has passed his best, and I agree as well. Peter Galacci has been a good servant of the club for quite some time, but he is definitely not the best keeper that he used to be. I was saying quite often, at least for last season, even though he was arguably the best goalkeeper in the Bundesliga last season, that Peter Galacci he overthinks a lot, and that's where his mistakes come. So today, obviously, you can't help that deflection. Not much else he can do about it. He's with his weight shifted in the wrong area. It's very hard to change his weight. But you would like to see him at least try to attempt to move instead of being rooted to the spot. But Peter Galacci tends to be a fantastic goalkeeper for instant reflex saves where I say he doesn't have to think. When he has to think about it, then he seems to overcomplicate it, and that's where the errors can creep in. As Hamburger going forward here, and that's a nice fresh airy there, and coming off the side of the boot. Might be able to get the 4-1 early, depending on how these teams go. We might be looking at a cricket score. Or, see, Galachi just, I mean, he could have turned around and. Got to try to be nice here to Pete. He didn't save it. He didn't look like he needed to. He probably looked at it and goes, "Oh, that's looping over." But you just don't know with Pete. And it sort of looks like he's a bit lax, I guess you could say, in his nature to this evening. I did mention as well that I wanted that striker to do better for Hamburger SV, and we've got the wish there, I guess you could say, with their main striker there getting into better positions, and it does look like there's around about 47 to 48,000 people in the Red Bull Arena today, and it says it's sold out. There's a good through ball here, and it looks like Nusa is on the ball. Someone needs to shoot. Baku, poor touch. Fixes it though. There's a fast break on here for Hamburg SV down the left. And Dompe does quite well for Hamburg SV. Nice cut back as well. Very poor shot in the end. I do think if Yusuf Poulsen comes on for their main striker, he might have been able to score that header and kept it down instead of going over the crossbar. Romelu with these relatively good ball, or right idea, to Bakayoko. I think personally, if Bakayoko isn't going to be doing much more in this game, I'd be swapping him out for Yan Diamonde. I know that he doesn't normally play on the right, he normally plays on the left, but I think Diamonde is classy enough to be able to adapt and play on the right-hand side. It just means that he won't have the natural curl with his foot. As David Raum brings the ball in. I'm standing next to the third official there on the touchline. Good to see that we're trying to pass to Bakayoko, considering he isn't getting much on the ball. No. So Ballum says, "Is that a Red Bull watch you're wearing, or from Leipzig Club Shop, white matching your kit?" No, it's just a Samsung watch, Samsung Ultra. So no, it's I didn't even notice, to be honest, that it was white and sort of matches the kit. So yeah, I just got it because it goes on my Samsung phone, which I brought the white one, so I just got a case on it. So but yeah, no, I didn't notice. Ballum, but yeah, I didn't actually notice that. But if I take off my phone case, I'll show you the reason why I got it. But anyway, it's being a bit difficult to get off, but that's the whole idea of the phone cases. You don't want them to come off. I got the Samsung S25 Ultra in, I think it's like white titanium or something like that. Might be able to get the phone case off. There we go. So I got the white phone, so that's why I got the white watch. So yeah, white phone, white watch, just goes together. Same thing with the AirPods or Samsung Buds, whatever you want to call them. Looks like I could probably clean the case a bit. Couldn't hurt to do that. Might just clean that now as Diamande comes on for Ordrago. No, it's so now Bakayoko and Diamande have made the switch, as I mentioned, and it's Banzuzi coming on for Asano Drago. So alrighty. Now with that done, we'll go back to some of your comments. And we have Bellum saying, Azans Postecoglou is from Australia. Do you get tired when people ask you about your fellow Aussie boy? His style of play could suit the Bundesliga. Imagine Ange trying to speak German on TV. Yeah, that's interesting way of doing it. I don't know what you mean by a free Samsung watch with Samsung phone. Nice, but anyway, it's not really free. I had to pay for it. But yeah, yeah, it would be interesting to hear Ange speak German. I mean, a Greek and German. That's interesting. Like is it like a Greek accent with speaking German? That's an interesting way of looking at things. It would certainly be interesting, that's for sure. Bit of a poor clearance there from Orban, just up and under ball. Just need to stop this ball going forward at the moment. Again, we've overcommitted going with the press. Just need to be mindful with the clearance instead of panicking. Instead of panicking and just kicking the ball forward, just pass it a little bit. Noosa has now moved down to the right, which is okay because Noosa is talented enough to play both. Was the right call, though, to take off Bakayoko and put on Diamande, as really hasn't done much today, Bakayoko. It's a good thing that I didn't put him on player watch today, considering that he hasn't really didn't really do anything before being subbed off. For those that are just joining in for the live stream watch along and the podcast episode coming up next week for episode 102, it was Romelu was the RB Leipzig player on player watch, and the player watch player for Hamburger SV was Luka Viskovic. the young 18 Croatian centre back who's been linked with RB Leipzig and is on loan at Hamburger SV from Tottenham Hotspur. And so far, you would probably say that Romelu edges that one just with the assist that he's had. But there's still around about 15, 25 minutes of football left to play. HSV doing quite well here, actually. They're retaining the ball, playing a little bit of keep away football, but they're doing that purposely just to retain the ball and go forward when they have the chance, like they have now. And very poor cross, but Orban with a very poor clearance, technically, either. I would have not given away the corner. I would have cleared the ball away out for a throw in, but that's just me being a little bit critical. Look for Skovic here for a header. We'll go back to some comments section while Hamburg SV have the ball going forward. I see that Ballum does enjoy that little joke I said there. I said not necessarily free. I did pay for it. And so does Cyril as well, by the looks of things. Oh. Yes, unfortunately, nothing in life is free. What was a joke that I heard a while ago? Nothing in life is free, not even after death or something like that. Can't remember like that because you got to pay for your funeral and things like that. I mean that's why life insurance is such a big thing, right? So it's either that or you have to have so much money saved up for it. And believe me, it's something that you probably do want to have as well. Going into a little bit of a personal story with my partner, my missus, and her father, my father-in-law. He had money put aside and things like that, but it wasn't more than enough. So, unfortunately, her and her sisters had to, fit the bill for anything that was left over, and that wasn't a knock on him either. So he just thought that he had enough, and when you get to a certain stage, you think that you've got so much money, but then you look at it and think that the world is, it's just getting dearer everywhere around the world. So, that's the whole reason, why things cost so much. So, as the Hamburg SV fans are shown jumping to their chance, trying to urge on their team to get an equaliser here as they push forward. And David Raum is beaten there and quite easily. That's a bit disappointing there. Now that we've got the ball, we need to just control the ball a little bit and just make sure that we move them around a little bit, unsettle them a tad. Hamburg growing with confidence, especially as it remains 2-1. They will fancy their chances to get a point from this game and an equaliser. Just need to start. Diamande is a good disruptor, I guess you could say, to that organisation for HSV. He is a fantastic workhorse and dribbler and can cause some problems for the back line there. Is out of position a little bit, though, at the moment. coming into the 70th minute, and scores are still 2-1, as you can see on your screens as well. Someone mentioned a while ago on one of my streams that they didn't realize that the scoreline down here is actually clickable or touchable. So you can tap on your screens if you're watching this over on your mobile phones or things like that, or whatever portable devices that you have, or you can click it if you are on a computer or something, and it actually goes to the podcast homepage, rbltalk.com. So that's the why there's a little link there. As Nicholas Seiwald gives away a free kick in a dangerous area for Hamburger SV. Getting the wall correct is paramount. Let's see what they can do with this one. Oh, what a shot. Dompe with a brilliant strike and curling it just hits the outside of the crossbar. Looks like Galachi had it covered all the way though. Let's have a look at some comments as we go. Ballum says, so living in Australia is not cheap. No, it's not. What do you make of a new second league with no promotion or relegation in Australia? Will this be a success? Look, the A-League isn't too bad. I just recently semi-watched the Adelaide United game against Sydney FC here. It's not too bad. I mean, it's not as big here as it is over in overseas. So it's not as big. It's not as big. We've got like other football codes to deal with over here. We've got the obviously the Australian Football League, like the Aussie rules football, which to me is not football. Football is what Australians call this, soccer. To me, that excuse me, sorry, that is football. And then you've got like the rugby as well, National Rugby League. That's also known as football, depending on where you are in the country. If you're from Queensland or from New South Wales, they're predominantly the rugby codes or the rugby team areas. And then you've got other sports and stuff to compete with as well. So like you've got your cricket and things like that. So cricket's pretty big here during the summer period and things like that. As when the A-League is on, it's competing with that directly, as A-League just started in October, and summer of cricket starts pretty much next month. So yeah, I don't think it would work personally. I mean, I wouldn't mind it to see it, but if you look at it from a like a company perspective and a business perspective, then it's not going to work. There's just really no money in it, or at least you're going to be running at a net loss for quite some time. But yeah, look, I'd love to see it happen. I certainly wouldn't be against it. I just personally wouldn't be one of the businesses that would like to be involved in it, really. That being said, though, the A-League is currently owned by the rights or something like that, like Paramount Plus or something. So I don't know what you mean by that, Ballum. I search up HSV on Google. Hamburg didn't show up. RBL Talk. Do you mean RBL Talk showed up, not Hamburg? But yeah. Yeah, Emmanuel might have left earlier. He didn't have any more comments, Ballum, so not too sure what's happening with Emmanuel. Emmanuel, if you're still there, comment along. It looks like Ballum would like to have some conversations with you through the platforms there. We've got about 12 more minutes left of football. So 16 minutes left of football. My math is completely out of whack. And at the moment, it's 2-1 for RBL. Going forward, they could make it 3-1. Noosa, shoot! No. It's just gone off him, and good block there from Voskovic. Okay, Bellum. Yeah, so searching HSV Hamburg didn't show up. Yeah, you'd think that they would show up, to be honest, because they're known as HSV. I do remember, ironically enough, in Australia, HSV used to stand for General Motors' own brand Holden, Holden Special Vehicles, they used to call it. As Yusuf Powson now comes on for HSV, and HSV in this case is Hamburger SV, and he'll get a warm welcome. And you can hear the warm welcome now for the club legend. I still don't like him wearing a different jersey than an RB Leipzig one, but you have to respect the decision. It's a dangerous ball giving away there. So passes to Diamande, and he's just missed that one. Looks like Xavier Schlager is going to be coming on as well. And good to see that Schlager is coming on. Did have RB fan, I think it's BE Energy or B Energy or something like that over on X, asked me originally, do I think that Xavier Schlager would start, or could he start? And my response was yes, he could start, but he shouldn't start, just coming back from an injury. So I would come as a substitute and have him start next week. And looks like Ollie Werner thinks the same as well, as Xavier Schlager's coming on for some much-needed fitness. I would say he's probably coming on for Christoph Baumgartner, if that would be my pick for who comes on, if we're going to stick with the same formational shape. Otherwise, we might see an Austrian straight swap again with Nicholas Seiwald instead. As Dompe shoots it from HSV and goes out for a corner. Nope, goal kick. And it is Christoph Baumgartner that makes way for Xavier Schlager. Little disappointing that he doesn't get a hat-trick, but a good brace nonetheless. Going back to your comments, briefly, how do we take part in audio question part in RBL Talk? How does the app system work? Yeah, good question there, Bellum. So there is a link that should be in the show notes at the moment on the live streams. If it isn't, there is a link on there that you should be able to get to. Or you can just go to speakpipe.com/ or /RBL Talk. And it's as simple as that. There's no app system or anything like that. You just go on your phone to the web browser, click a record and record into it. It's pretty simple. Cyril's done it before. If you would like to leave your name so I know who it is, or your email address or something. Obviously, I don't release email addresses on the podcast, but for me to be able to possibly get in touch with the person, if you don't want to give that information, that's okay. But because you can do it anonymously as well, you don't even need to fill in that information. You can just hit record and then just say, hi, my name's, and then say who are, and this is my submission for you know the next RBL Talk episode or whatever, and then just say whatever you like. Um, you have up to, I think it's 90 seconds of audio recording, and then I will literally play it on the podcast and then respond back on the show. For people that are wondering about that, let me just double check and I'll give you a hint of what it is. I can't remember what recording it was. Let me just have a quick look here. I'll be able to tell you exactly what podcast episode it was. Cyril, if you're in the chat, let me know. If we go Cyril. Excuse me. Episode 95, it looks like. By the looks of it, just might be wrong here. Yep, Cyril from SpeakPipe. So it was episode 95. If you're intrigued on how it works, go to the RBL Talk segment of episode number 95 and have a listen to that one, and that's how it works. You send in the audio message, I splice that into the recording, I play that recording, and then I respond back to it after playing. Yep, so Balaam, episode 95, it was a spoken one from Cyril. He's mentioned on a couple of podcast episodes that he's submitted to, but that one specifically where he did a audio recording was episode 95. Last time I eaten a hamburger, good question. A couple of weeks ago, I had a vegetarian one. I had a vegetarian hamburger. What did I eat? It's a company called Grilled or something. So they do like, they do like vegan meats, vegetarian meats, and things like that. And yeah, so hamburgers aren't normally something I eat regularly. I've got about 8 more minutes left of play, and RB Leipzig are really pressing here. And I do think that we do need another goal to make it 3-1, just to give ourselves that buffer, as it does look like that Hamburg may end up getting a goal here and nick a point. Banzuzi loses the ball in a dangerous area. Dompe is quite good, actually, with his cutbacks. Quite impressed seeing him today. Or I should say, quite impressed with his performance, as he now has the ball again. He's not making a mess of Rydell Baku, but he's making him work for it. Yeah, so I gathered that, Ballum, the hamburger eating question was because the team Hamburger from Hamburg, Germany. Yep. Yep, and that is correct. Hamburg is also near Kiel in map in Germany. For those that are unaware, that the reason why I'm an RB Leipzig supporter is because of my family. They are from East Germany, mainly from Leipzig, but also my great Oma was from Kiel. So that would be my second team if I was to ever pick a different team, or if I was ever picking a different team. But I chose RB Leipzig because I wanted to be a part of something from the beginning, really. So, not many. It's very hard to say that. that you support a team from essentially inception. So there's that. But I do have massive respect for the Storks, considering I was quite close to my great Oma before her passing as well. Just need to win the ball back and actually do something with it at the moment. It's a bit end to end, but not really of any chances of any significance. Hamburg look like they're really pressing here to possibly score a equaliser here. After the changes, we really lost our drive going forward. Whew, that clearance from Schlager was shocking. I mean, I'll take the win, but it's not going to be great by any means. Just take the time and to reset. So Cyril, no, I speak limited German. I used to speak it with my great Oma when she was here. So she was the one that was originally born in Germany, born in Kiel. There's also other family members that were born in Leipzig, and then we moved over here. So I'm second generation German. I think it's second, possibly third. Sorry, Australian, I should say. So yeah. But yeah, I just know basic stuff now. So I learned a little bit of German in high school. So to understand my great Oma, because when she got old, she had dementia, so she started reverting back to her previous language, so her natural language. Um, and yeah, so because my Oma, so my grandmother, she was wondering some of the things that she was saying to her because she's never remembered some of the things that she said to her as a child. So it's a little bit disappointing, but I treat it as a way of learning. So, for instance, that my Oma was called she called her mother Mutti, not Mutta. It depends on the dialect as well. So, and there's a couple of other things as well. So, Bruder, Swister, like I said, just very basic stuff. Probably wouldn't hurt for me to get a little bit of a Duolingo or something like that. But I don't have any, you know, family members that want to speak fluent German anymore. So I was always told from my mother that when being here, you have to adopt the way of life here. Don't remember your roots and respect your roots and where you come from and things like that. But when you live in another country, you need to adopt what works from where you're from. But you have to be a part of the culture and standards here. So back to the game at hand. There is just a minute and a half left, and RB Leipzig are just edging it at the moment, 2-1, as Hamburg SV are the team that have been looking like to score in the last 10 minutes. And Dompe has the ball, and the cross isn't going too well. How fitting would it be if Yusuf Poulsen scored the equaliser? If he did, would he celebrate? I don't think he would. I think he'd have too much respect. As Balaam says, a win is a win. First match after international break, and so on. So Lucas Klosterman's coming on, and so is Conrad Harder for RB Leipzig. Never really understood the changes at these times. I mean, I get it, but we're only going to be on for maybe like what, 2 minutes extra, maybe. And that's the last for Romulu, as Conrad Harder is going to come onto the pitch for Romulu. I'm going to say about 3 minutes of added time. Hasn't shown up yet. Can't see it on there. Didn't see the board there for added time. 5 minutes of added time. So plenty of time here. So those changes aren't too bad. But Hamburg SV are really pushing us. The crowd cheered for him to shoot. That was quite interesting. I mean, I personally wouldn't want Yusuf Powson scoring against us, but, or at least not in this game anyway. Oh, wow. Conrad Harder. Oh, wow. Oh, mate. Conrad Harder, you're wanting to earn a starting place, but you do a shot like that. Wow. Okay. That hurts the brain a little. Goalkeeper's pushed up quite high here. It should be really pressing them, because you could put the game to bed with a 3-1. Right. I mean, I understand why Baku's not pressing too hard. He's been pressing all game. Lovely through ball there from Dompe. Just got to get rid of the ball, lads. Just clear it. Oh, wow. We are looking absolutely shocking at the moment in the back. Disorganized and just. It'd be a miracle at this rate if we actually hold on. Easy save there from Peter Galacci, who will probably take his time for everyone to clear the area, just to waste some precious minutes. There we go. Definitely RB Leipzig have won it here because it's coming into the last 40 seconds, and there is a corner kick for RB Leipzig down on the left-hand side. Cyril says about the Conrad Harder shot that he sent that outside the stadium. Absolutely. And Ballum, I will definitely get to your comments in a quick minute. Just wait for the rest of this. Very good work there from Diamondo. And there it is. Nope. So that was a Vasovic then. But that was a good last challenge. And there it is. All done for this evening. And that is full time in the Red Bull Arena. And it is RB Leipzig who hold on. You don't expect to say that when you're playing against Hamburger SV, but they did quite well this afternoon, and in that second half specifically as well, where they were clearly the better side. And it ends 2-1, and Yusuf Poulsen's homecoming isn't a great one for his new side. He came on and played about 20 minutes or so. Looking at the time, he came on at the 76th minute, so he played just over 14 minutes. Having a look at some of the players as well. We'll go into detail on the podcast episode, but the player watch battle for today was Romelu versus Luka Veskovic, and they were essentially directly paired at one another. Romelu played 18 minutes before he was substituted for Conrad Harder. Luka Veskovic played the full 90 minutes plus at a time. And having a look at the direct comparison, Romelu had a assist, setting up one of Christoph Baumgartner's goals for RB Leipzig, and Luka Veskovic played his part for his side in his formation, and also being a rock at the back with winning many ground aerial duels, having 6 recoveries, 4 clearances, making a key pass. He passed also quite forward as well, had 95 touches, if you don't mind me saying, as well, compared to Romelu's 29 touches. I'll go into full detail on the podcast episode on who won that battle. But some of the best players for both sides was Christoph Baumgartner, obviously for RB Leipzig. Romelu did quite well. Nicholas Seiwald as well. Noosa did quite well. And I think Castello Lekeba also did quite well for RB Leipzig. Going back onto the opposition for Hamburg SV, very impressed with Dempe. He was quite good today. And then we had the assists and goals from I think it's Muheim, and the goal from Lokonga or something like that. I can't read it with this writing. Lokonga, I think it says. Probably butchered that one, but we'll get that hopefully correct in the podcast episode. I'll stay with you for a few moments while some people trickle in with some comments. If you let me know what you thought of this game, make sure to comment on the streams below. And as Cyril says, do remember to take part in the RBL Talk segment for the podcast. For the episodes, you can do that by going to any of the posts across social media and commenting on it, letting me know your thoughts, and I'll read them out and respond to them on the podcast episode. Or you can also send them in as an audio message as well via SpeakPipe. Ballum also says, celebrate by drinking a Red Bull. I am fasting, unfortunately, so I cannot drink a Red Bull. I can have a Red Bull tomorrow, or I should say today, as it is now Sunday for my time, after 3 p.m. when I'm able to have my 6-hour eating and drinking window. But it is 3 points for RB Leipzig this afternoon. As Bellum also says as well, can you buy me a Red Bull pink can now? I've tried that before on the podcast stream. It's not the greatest. It's not bad, but it just tastes like cough syrup. If I was going to say a possible taste, I guess you could say. But if you're just joining in, the tale of the take is that it is RB Leipzig coming back after the international break, just holding on and winning, taking all 3 points at home in the Red Bull Arena against Hamburger SV, and Yusuf Poulsen's homecoming at the Red Bull Arena for his new side, unable to get the win or get a point there. But Hamburger SV were quite impressive. If they play like that against a lot of the top teams this year in the Bundesliga, they will definitely stay up. I can't see them not go, if they can't see them going down if they can deliver this type of football throughout the season. Still stay for a few more minutes while some people trickle in if you would like to comment what your thoughts were on the game. But a few admin things to get through. Make sure to join the RB Fans Discord community. That link is down there and in the show notes, and you can tap it on or click it on your screens to go join that. It is free. As well, you can also listen to the podcast. Go to rbltalk.com and find your favorite podcasting platform and listen to the show, which I am the host of. My name is Justin Crozer, the host of the RBL Talk podcast, the global podcast on all RB Leipzig fans worldwide. And you can also get your free RB Leipzig news from me. I create them regularly, try to do them daily, at www.rbleipzig.news. And if you would like to stay up to date with the podcast as well, with some admin stuff and monthly newsletters and things like that, make sure to join the free Patreon and click the link down there in the show notes. And if you would like to help support, do what I do, you can become a paid RBL Talk member as well, if you like. Otherwise, you can join the free tier and you get some freebies throughout this the season. And Cyril says, I need to gather my thoughts and send a submission. And thanks for the stream, Justin. Thanks, Ballum, for joining in. I need to cook dinner and do some laundry. Yep, it does happen, Cyril. I need to do a couple of things myself, and cooking dinner is one of them. For me, though, it is at 2:02 a.m. for me. The whole reason why I'm cooking dinner at that time is not because I am eating my dinner at that time. It's because I need to cook my dinner for the next couple of days, as I'm going to be at work during my eating period. As I mentioned a few times during the stream, that I am fasting between certain hours of the day. And if that's all for the comments section, we'll just wait about a minute, as some people might be behind. And if you would like to send a comment in or anything before we close out the live stream today, make sure to put it in. Otherwise, make sure to get those RBL Talk submissions happening for the podcast episode 102. We are up to now, and it's been a couple of years since 2022. Since we've been doing this podcast, and it has been a blast so far, and I look forward to another 102 episodes as well after next week. About to have a drink and have the lid closed. That's very smart of me. If you've just joined in the live stream, the tale of the take is that RB Leipzig have won after the international break, and it has been, excuse me, it was quite a hard-fought battle, but RB Leipzig's quality did prevail in the end. Christoph Baumgartner was the only goal scorer, scored a brace for RB Leipzig, one in the first half, one in the second half, and then Hamburger SV managed to get an equalizer before the excuse me, a second goal for Christoph Baumgartner. My name is Justin Cruiser. I am the host of the RBL Talk podcast, and I hope that you have enjoyed this stream. It's been a pleasure to have you along for this evening or this afternoon, really depending on where you're from. And I would also like to thank every single RBL Talk member allowing me to do what I do. You guys have been a great help. You've allowed me to reinvest into the podcast, and you've also allowed me to start doing these streams and things like that regularly. So thank you to all RBL Talk members. Thank you for tuning in and joining in this live stream as well. I'll see you next month at least for another live stream. I'm not too sure when that will be, but if you want to find out more, make sure to click or join the free Patreon, and you'll be told and you'll find out before anybody else. Today it has been a great game, and Immer RBL. So until next week, or I should say until the next podcast episode, I'll see you then. I've been Justin Cruiser. Bye-bye for now.